Welcome. Welcome. We've started. We're here. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Good evening.
We're live. Back in the world of Cairne. Sorry for the delay. We have some delays out there. Oh, Mr. Midnight already given you guys a reroll and a setback. Thank you.
So kind. Perfectly balanced.
Balanced. That's right. Got him.
As all things should be.
We also have an old familiar face in the audience tonight. You guys want to say hi to Fateful Ribbon?
Oh,
Hey.
He's tuned in
hope
and
things
watching.
are well.
Hi.
We are missing a couple people right now, just as a heads up. But hopefully one of them will roll in before too long. So when we left off, you guys had just beat up a lot of children.
That did happen.
Does anyone like to recount the experience for those at home who might be just joining us?
They were evil children. And they were undead, I think.
There was an
They were
amount of
definitely
undead.
evil.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
did nothing.
Essentially, we traveled up to the halfling ghost town on the island, and we ran into some feral ghost kids. Who were trying to kill us.
Well, we don't necessarily know that. They didn't try and kill me. Listener was fine.
Well, I mean, I think they just wanted to play. They knocked a couple of you down and tried to drag you off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounded like they just wanted to put us in like the fog and play hide and seek.
Mm-hmm. That's
What could go wrong?
exactly. You guys should have let it happen,
Yeah.
but
Should have just gone to the void and died.
it didn't happen that way. Everyone made it out. In fact, you murdered a whole bunch of children. It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. They actually
Feral
were.
ghost children.
They were evil undead creatures that look like children.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. Trigger warning, adult tag, just to get that out of the way.
Yes, we do still sit in the middle of a long since ruined halfling settlement. Listener observing the many spirits of the dying around him.
Yes, and there are a lot dying horribly. Now, beyond that, I know you guys, you're working your way through the island. You're kind of, in a bad way, trapped there because of damage done. Mr. Midnight. They did sound like sweet little kids while he was there, but then he's a ginger. Nice. So, but no, you guys are out looking for what in particular?
We had a few goals in mind. We're under constant assault from these possibly mutated, maybe just slightly crazier than usual Galduina. We need to figure out what on earth's going on with that. We're probably going to need some supplies to repair the Orti eventually, but that's a distant day in the future for now. That thing is badly messed up. And we do have, potentially, a way to finally get to the Dome of the Shining Eyes through another dome located not too far from here.
Which is what Saoirse actually has the key to, and not the, actual Dome of the Shining Eyes itself. That would be our dear Evelette who has that key.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So, keys in tandem, more or less. But yes, there are mysteries unfolding. It's almost as if there's some type of prophecy unfulfilled or being fulfilled as you go.
Those damn prophecies.
We're not sure what Van Warren's doing right now there, Ribbon.
He lives. We can say this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure much could kill him, honestly.
I am pretty sure.
Listener is not one for very long-term planning. Certainly not right at the moment. Now that the horde has dissipated, he will set Genesis down and just keep taking it in.
So we're gonna stay in the village then?
Oh, I'm not sure if he really wants to do that, but here in the moment.
Listener's okay with it. Right?
Well, he might wander off if it gets too much.
What's everybody else doing? Yeah, me.
I don't want to stay.
You want to stay?
No.
But you don't have to.
Scurry.
I mean, I know there's a miasma over the place that makes it dark even in the day, and I know you were attacked by a large swarm of ghost children, and there's dead things everywhere. But beyond that, it's remarkably cozy. It is a halfling village.
She's glaring at you.
And the Galduina don't attack it, so.
The Galduina do avoid this place.
And they seem so much more threatening than the ghost child.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I feel that perhaps finding a big enough building and barricading it might be our best survival for the moment.
You think so? Sorry, that's a terrible thing for me to say.
If we're gonna chill out here and hang out for the night, we can always do tiny hut.
Ligaman's tiny hut.
This is also an option.
Will I have room inside the tiny hut to treat those that were injured? Make sure there was no infection passed.
It will be cramped quarters, but you won't have the lab. I know you kind of got spoiled with that.
Ah,
The lab.
Took my...
I mean, it's still there, technically.
slowly being corroded.
But still there.
I mean, you could
with a
always stay
few
outside
terrible
the
things.
hut if you need more room, but
It's true. So you could cast the hut inside a barricade building, or a barricaded building.
we could cast it outside the entrance of a building, have the entire entrance in, or have the entire building inside of it. Great.
Gotta look over
I-
my notes here.
Just need to double check and make sure everyone is okay.
Hmm.
What is everyone's thoughts about? I feel that perhaps staying here might be the safest option at the moment.
It seems to be the safest option at the moment, too. What's here, while it's unsettling, these are things that we can handle and have handled in the past. The Galduina that are on this island may be a little too much for us. I mean, we saw what happened back at the coast with the Orti.
What's the worst that could happen, right?
Everything.
Fair point.
Listeners walked up to this larger building and is looking inside.
All right. As with most, and I think one of you have stepped in here. There's a broken chandelier, some remains, a destroyed hearth, broken furniture, old ratty bed. Nothing really usable. I mean, even the wood itself that's in this building is rotted out. But beyond that, it's fairly empty as well.
Yes, but I see dead people.
Yes, you do.
Do I see dead people here?
Yes.
Ah,
Um,
alas.
There's only one body in the building. Visible, at least. Like actual physical body.
What about spirits, though? That's more of my concern.
There, there are spirits in the building. Yes, it looks like there was a large family in here.
Mm-hmm.
You see them huddled kind of together on the floor. You see the father stand up protectively and get knocked down, and the rest drug out of the building over and over and over again.
Right. Right. Not that one, maybe. Listeners walking around while these discussions are taking place amongst the party, seeking the building that has the fewest and least disturbing spirits in it.
That's going to be difficult. I will just go ahead and throw that out there.
I know, but he's trying.
He's trying. Because in every one of these, you're going to find similar scenes unfolding. Like what happened here was every bit, part of the halfling genocide. I will say the one you're looking in right now.
Yep.
The worst thing that you're seeing in there is people being drug out by their hair.
That'll do.
Okay.
Listener walks back towards the group. I propose that one over there.
Anyone else?
Saoirse has strong opinions either way. She just sort of nods and waits for the rest of the group.
Is everyone still shell-shocked from the last fight?
Well, that's just gonna quietly wander over the direction that was stated and step over the bones. One crunches underfoot. Oh, sorry. Continues. Another crunch. Oh, winces.
I'm just stepping on bugs. Just stepping on bugs.
She's hoping it's not like the bones of the children that came to try and drag them, because she'd feel a little, a little bad. She killed them twice.
So here, we'll put Kaz in there. And Uki. And we'll let Jeff sit outside.
He's more comfortable.
Yeah, he's not so worried. Void lizard.
Do you want me to block the entrance with the hut? And then you can have access inside and not really have to worry about anybody getting into the hut?
That is a pretty slick use of the hut to barricade a door.
Nobody can get through it.
That's right.
Thank you. That sounds good. Everyone who was injured, if I could inspect you one at a time.
Probably would be a good idea.
Who did take a hit? Let's see. Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis, you got drugged, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you get bitten?
Yeah.
I want to say only one person actually got
Yes.
bit.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought it
Bitten,
was.
bitten and dragged. Yes, it was a critical hit, so I got dragged along with the bite.
Okay. That does sound about right.
I would like to inspect Genesis and see if there's any sign of infection or disease.
Okay. Could there be? Could there be? All right. So, you're making your medicine roll. What are you testing here specifically?
In particular, I'm looking at the bite wound. I
Okay.
want to see if there's any particular leftover residue. Clean that out.
Okay. So, is everybody in the structure? Just so we're clear.
I am not presently in the structure. I am outside.
Okay.
I was gonna look around some more of the village. Listeners in a bit of a daze, really.
Okay. Just everybody make sure your tokens are where they are supposed to be in case something happens.
In case of events.
I will say that Saoirse is in the hut.
Okay. Good deal. So, you're looking over Genesis. Genesis, you are actually starting to feel a little uncomfortable. Kind of a little short of breath. Kind of some discomfort, like in your upper body. Kind of starting to get a little bit of a headache as he's looking you over. It does appear like there is an infection on the bite wound, Wilhelm.
Okay. Can I make a educated guess about the particular disease it might be?
Most likely it's only one disease. And it's one that you would be familiar with that is transmitted by a bite from the ephemeron.
Question: would Saoirse notice Genesis feeling bad?
Only if she's having an emotional response. Tiny hut. Up and down. But I don't know if he's said anything to her. I don't think you've said anything actually about it yet. In character. So aside from her basic discomfort.
Yeah. Well, if Genesis is having a headache, like I know if a headache is bad enough for me, like it will start to affect me emotionally. So it's like.
Oh yeah, it's faint right now. It's nothing too serious. It's a faint headache right now.
Mm.
I am Genesis. Perhaps we should step outside the hut. I believe you may have caught something and your treatment, you might be contagious.
Wait. What?
Can Saoirse
Because
start...
the hut may not let you guys pass through.
Beings inside Liamon's tiny hut can pass in and out freely once it's cast.
They're outside of the hut, and if it's something malevolent, it won't be allowed through, right?
Oh, it's around you?
Yeah.
I thought it was where we were, up here.
We're blocking the entrance.
Yeah, well...
And then I said it was going to block the entrance, and then you have, like, 2 huts anybody can use.
Right.
So the... I will say, Wilhelm, unless you're telling her this in purpose, muck blood is most likely what she's contracted, and it is not contagious in that regard. It is only transferred in ephemeron saliva. So if she bites somebody and breaks the skin, while fully and under the control of the infection and enters saliva into the host's bloodstream, then it will be spread, but it won't be spread by any other means.
Okay, so muck blood. All right, I thought because of the shortness of breath, she had the breathless plague.
Oh no, no. Most likely she's a contracted muck blood.
Okay, I'm gonna roll to see.
So, because Wilhelm said this out loud, Saoirse's going to try her best to help
Okay.
start up this.
Oh, see. Now I will say that keep in mind this is a magical impurity, just by its nature.
Okay.
But you can use that. And this is kind of something. I'm glad we're pulling this out now. This is probably something we should tweak, because that the language as it's written specifically just says disease in general.
Yeah.
So I will say that you can use that to alleviate the symptoms of a magical disease.
Really, on my screen it says that it only affects non-magical impurities, which is okay. I guess the void is weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's a magical impurity, right?
Yes. Yes, the diseases of the void, like muck blood and the breathless plague and that type of thing, are basically would be considered magical. There are other diseases that are not.
Yeah. Well, if it removes the symptoms, like whether or not Saoirse would know, if it would work.
That's
I
still
think
what she would
still
do,
play
yeah.
it. Yeah. She
No,
would
that's
try
not
and
bad.
help Genesis.
No, and that's fine. That's fine. And it would kind of alleviate the symptoms while he's working. So no, that's good. That's like I said, this is one of those tweaks we want to make going forward. And it's mainly so we don't step on the benevolent's toes too mad.
Fair, yeah.
Question.
What's that?
My character's gonna ask them a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So she's hearing that something is going on and be like, let's Did he say the name of it out loud? What?
Did you say it out loud?
If I know what it is, yeah, I would say it's more than likely muck blood. It can be treated. Unfortunately, the skill, I can help with it, but unfortunately, you need antibiotics, and I'm not quite. I don't have that recipe in my head. I can't quite make it yet.
Yeah. You also need anticoagulants.
Well, that I can do.
What is it?
It needs. The treatment for it is two parts in particular. You have to an anticoagulant, which is used for the blood, because the problem with this particular disease is it causes the blood to thicken. It does mean also, Genesis, no pushing yourself, because unfortunately you push yourself, end up thickening in parts of your bodies that it can lead to blindness as well as other things. You also need antibiotics, which I'm not skilled enough to.
Dun dun dun.
What does it come from?
The bite of the creature. On the other hand, This was a village. This was a halfling village, and from my understanding, halflings were very like home oriented. There might be an herbalist. There might have been an herbalist. I don't know if any of it would be useful. We might be able to find antibiotics or something similar that hasn't been picked over.
Well, it's been like 100 years.
And would that
Maybe a
capability
bug.
even exist when this was a time when Sinufe was still around?
I mean, the plants and the knowledge was around. It just wasn't as heavily used. Magic was around, so it wasn't quite as needed. But it's quite possible that people still were producing it. I don't know if there'd be any here, but there's always a chance. Honestly, to get the items, I think that would be the best bet we have.
It's worth a try, anyways.
I touched a
new?
book and it completely disintegrated.
Right.
I'm worried that if we find the knowledge, we won't be able to get it there.
Listener walked up and silently listened for this part.
Okay.
He's not looking forward to the next bit,
Oh
but
no.
he's gonna do something, Church.
Oh, okay. What do we got? I'm curious.
I'm gonna start connecting with spirits to see if there was, in fact, a doctor or an herbalist in the village.
Oh,
I knew that was coming.
all right. So now, obviously, with the sheer amount of spectral activity in the area,
It's a lot.
singling out a specific profession amongst them is going to be difficult.
Yes, this is why it's going to be traumatic, because he's probably just going to have to do it by elimination.
Wouldn't one of them know if there was though?
One of the spirits?
One of the
Can he
spirits,
interview
yes,
them?
but they're not always
There.
helpful.
Yeah.
There is some danger in what he's doing.
Yeah.
Not all spirits are
While-
benevolent.
Yeah, so if I'm
While he's
looking,
doing this,
it might work.
can I treat Genesis as best I can, and then I'd also like to try to go look around, see if I can find a building that looks like it might be
So
promising.
I'm going to go out on a limb a little bit here and say, for the sake of treatment, the antibiotics are to treat the infection. The anticoagulant are to treat the symptoms. You do actually have the ability to make an anticoagulant, and that's where the danger lies for Genesis right now, is that her blood is
Yes.
literally thickening in her veins.
Is this disease like from the void?
Yes, muck blood is from the void.
And is it like void energy that's going through her doing this?
On some level, the void causes grand scale mutations in all life that it touches, much like your race, was pretty much kind of close to human for the most part. They're kind of in between Shanakesian and human, but over the course of their exposure to the void, they mutated into the Volverstad with all their abilities and quirks. So if you think about that, the life that was tainted by the void and survived and kept going, much like viral matter and bacteria that kept going within the void, it all mutated. Now that we're getting into the science of it, but
So I have an idea.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this thing's like a really stupid idea. I should be getting a long rest, and it probably won't work. But it might help. I don't know. Or it might not do anything, and it might slow it down. I don't know. I'm gonna do it without knowing if it'll work or not. And well, can I try something? Just, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then, and somebody could get hurt. But I don't think anybody's gonna get hurt. It should be fine. Maybe. Probably.
Okay.
Tell us the tale.
She's asking me. It's really simple. It's not that big of a deal. Please don't be afraid. I can affect on a small scale void energy sometimes, and like she points to her body, and at times redirect it or form it to things, and this could not work at all. This could be, something that's already mutated into like something else besides it. I don't actually know how the void energy works as far as like biologically, but maybe she's just gonna. She can't really get out of the hut, but like if you wanted to, bring her closer, maybe I can try to see if I can pull it out or affect the void energy within her and change it in some way, maybe. She's fidgeting awkwardly and she doesn't really know how to describe what she wants to do.
Well, Genesis, it's you, or your body, your health. What is your... What do you say?
I don't know. And I guess it's worth a shot. If it just doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not like it can get worse, right?
It can.
Okay.
Thanks.
This feels like the TM moment. You can try. You can certainly try.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
I just thought the closer that she is, the more successful it might be, if it's even possible at all. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And this is the last spell slot that I have. And if I don't get a long rest, then we're SOL. But it seems a little worth it to me. It seems worth it.
I think I see what you're trying to do.
If it doesn't work, totally fine. But she's going to do it no matter what. Like, because she doesn't know if it'll work, and her life is research and experimentation. So. Well,
this is curious. So, Post, can you share the spell in Roll20 so everyone can see it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna attempt a void ray.
Yes.
But if I was gonna say, if I'm getting what you're trying to do, you're trying to pull the ambient void energy out of her, focus it into
in the
ray.
immediate vicinity, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if it's around, whatever's closest to her will be pulling it. So, if it is in fact affected by void energy at all, which it may not be, it could already be on a biological level instead of like a different type of material. I don't know. It's just an idea. So
it's curious. It's creative. I'm not opposed to you trying it. I'm even going to give it a chance for success. So it's up to you guys. There's also a chance for critical failure.
Yeah. All of this is only taking place in Evelyn's head because she's the only one who knows what she's even going to try. So can't really say much.
She said that about what she was going to do. Like when she was stuttering, that was her being. I don't know if this is going to work. Good luck.
Genesis, you're awful quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think it's worth a shot. Um, but I am not a doctor, so there's a lot I don't know.
Neither am I, which is why this could go horribly wrong.
I, as a as as a doctor, I don't know either. So unfortunately, I don't know what it'll do. I don't know if the side effects. I can't make this decision for you because honestly, I also don't have. I don't know what she's even gonna try.
Well, if it's any consolation, I will not direct the void ray towards any person. It'll just go off into the distance. I'm just trying to get energy from her and redirect it somewhere else.
I'm not going
But if
to
anybody
shoot you.
touches the void ray, they'll die.
I'm not going to shoot you.
So don't touch it. Oh man, I really wanted to make a bad joke. Don't say it, Baldwin.
Well, we live
okay.
for bad jokes. It's fine.
It's too soon. Okay.
Are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, here we go. Describe to me how you're doing this.
She's gonna turn to everybody that she can see, especially a listener, and she's gonna tell him, like, please don't touch the black bean. and point her I guess point her index finger away.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just gonna try and like settle as close as she can, still within the tiny hut. Because if she leaves a tiny hut, it fails.
I do like this spell. It's pretty beefy.
Listener, could you please leave the dome? Thanks. Because the spell can't leave the dome, so hopefully they don't die. It's fine. This is fine. She's gonna try it now.
I need to be in there, right? Like,
nope. You're gonna chill out.
the text of
I
your
guess
spell says
energy
spells
will
another
not be able to pass.
spells and other magical effects can extend through the dome or pass through it. So I was just trying to see if I needed to try to come in or.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, but it says right there that magical effects can extend through the dome or be cast through it. So I need to be either inside it or.
Yeah. She's gonna let the dome fail.
Okay.
I guess she can't because it's she can't let the dome fail. It's
I would
stuck
have
there.
assumed I was nearby when you cast it. I could have been inside it.
We should go outside of the dome.
I was gonna say, can't you allow people in and out at your leisure?
I thought
That's
we
not
were inside
really part
it.
of the
I
rules, but
literally
that's
thought.
how we ruled it. It's how we ruled it that you could be in the dome.
The
I thought she
text
cast
is
it,
who
but
is within it when you
The
cast
problem
it.
is magical effects can't be allowed into the dome, and there's a magical effect on you.
Yeah.
So you cannot go into the dome.
Fair point.
Okay, so it doesn't
Actually-
matter. The placement of it doesn't really matter because we would have had to pass through it to get into this area here because she cast it at the door.
Wait, you're saying she can't come in because she has muck blood and it counts as a magical effect? No, I'm not sure that's how that works.
No, she casted
Magical
she casted
effects can't extend through the dome.
But she casted the aura at the doorway,
Well, it
and
says-
we were inside this little hut here outside of it. This area. Right?
So here's just to save trouble. So magical effects can't pass through the dome, so you can't cast spells through the dome.
Okay.
I would prefer the hut to be open to the caster's will as far as who can and cannot enter.
Okay.
I will say I would allow her to enter with muck blood, just because it's a little bit of a gray area. It's considered a magical effect because the virus has mutated by magical means, but it is not actually a spell.
My concern is if I cast something in the hut, that it will rebound. So what I would like to do is have everybody else go into the hut, and we stay in the halfling dwelling, and everybody else go in the hut because it's protected, so they're not going to get hit by any void energy rays.
But that means you have to leave, which does make it fail.
I'm trying to find that.
The spell ends if you leave its
You
area.
command the
Yeah.
interior to be. Okay, cool.
Maybe there's something else we could do with this. I mean, I
You can
have.
go stand in the hut. It'll be fine.
Why don't we just like sit here and brain think? You know, like, ow, man, this is killing me. Ow.
Well, can I at least start the treatment with the anticoagulant?
Yeah. Put it in my veins. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. I do have that. I will use one.
Oh my goodness, my head.
This is lovely.
So I am gonna.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Use-
It's fine. Somebody took a jackhammer to the back of my head. I'm fine.
This is lovely.
All right. Well, if that's happening over there, I'll be doing, as I said, basically,
Meandering.
terrible, terrible things. Talking to spirits in far too involved a manner.
Genesis,
Okay.
come into the hut.
Try with the huts that look very medical-y.
I'm not certain how much listeners gonna pull that off, really.
Fair.
Try with the huts that look medically.
No, I like that. That's awesome.
Like,
Medically.
medically, like.
So, listener, tell me what abilities you're using real quick while they prepare to do this
I hope we don't
experimental
die.
magic.
Oh.
So he is making the loops. At first he's only observing. He has seen a handful of benevolence, though whether, a halfling doctor or a halfling herbalist would resemble that in the slightest, he would not know.
He's never met a halfling, technically. Well, aside from, that
The
one,
butcher.
The
of
butcher.
course. Yeah, so... one sec. 2 critical elements here would be spirit affinity. So they're not hostile, but they would still recognize me and treat me with respect.
Mhm.
Then if I spot somebody who just kind of looks right to them, I might be using the spectral invocation there.
Okay. So, give me a perception roll.
Sure. 14.
All right. It's okay, bro. All right, give me a sense motive or insight. Sorry.
Throwing it all the way back. There you go.
Okay. So it's at this point it's too confusing. You're not able to narrow down any specific individual that would appear to be what you need.
All right. Failing that, I would simply draw one at random that looks to have been an adult.
Okay. Well, there's plenty of those.
Yeah. Hopefully these were not halflings of a particularly high level.
All right. Well, let's say you're.
It could be this hut over here that I'm near, it's fine.
Okay. Let's say you're. Okay, way down there. Okay. So let's say you're still scanning.
Sure, sure.
just so we don't get too caught one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, please do.
All right. So, Evelyn and Genesis, are you ready to make your attempt?
I want this noted. I have treated Genesis with the anticoagulant and a tincture. You have healed 5.
Okay.
Now let's see if we killed her.
All right.
Oh, yes.
So, Evelyn, are you ready?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Come on into the hut. Yeah, this is fine.
And red dinosaur.
We're fine,
Mhm.
It's gonna win.
right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Here we go. Genesis, you coming in?
She's in there with you.
Is she? Oh, okay, cool. And we're gonna do this. She's not gonna touch her. She's just gonna get as close as possible, and make sure that. Or are you gonna want to stay? You might want to leave. I don't know if do you want to stay in the hut? I'm worried that if it rebounds.
I am in there. I have made my choice.
All right.
I need to be able to point in a direction that's not going to kill anybody, and that is the direction you're standing in. So I'm gonna have you. Yeah. Okay. This is fine. We're fine. She's looking at Genesis, try to comfort her, and like put her hand out, but like not actually touch her. And then she's just gonna keep the hand like covering her person, her body, and just kind of like flex her hand and be like, "This is fine. This is fine. I do this all the time. This is great." And
I'm
point her
halfway.
finger.
I'm halfway split between like I love how little of this I'm seeing with my eyes firmly clenched shut at the teeth grinding waves of migraine that I'm experiencing. And then I was also gonna say like at the same time my brain's like the other half of it is like put your hand on my shoulder. Cringe. This cacophony of like which joke is better?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Ugh.
So
Fine.
you're gonna hear her whispering, "I can totally do this. I can do this. This is fine. This is gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work." And then she's going to whisper the words for the evocation, and the void, assuming that the void ray is gonna happen, we'll see. It's instant. Would you like me to do a spell, like attack roll?
So you're casting it that way?
South. How do I?
That way?
This way.
That way.
This way? No.
This way.
She told someone to stay somewhere, and she doesn't know where he went.
No.
What
yes,
sorcery is
he's,
this?
Okay.
He's up doing
Oh.
something.
Sorry, I'm playing with stuff. Okay. So, roll your
She-
roll to hit.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 30. How far does it go?
30 foot.
30 feet?
I'm
Okay.
well out of range.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I do this? Teach me your voice. Core? Is it a core?
Yeah, just your standard 2-hit spell to hit.
Yeah, I haven't.
Range
This one?
touch attack.
Range touch. I don't
Roll
have
a
that
D20.
stat available for me to do. So, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, just let's see. Let me pull it if it's not on your sheet yet. Let's see.
D20 plus your proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier.
Yeah.
Cool. So +8.
There you go. Nice
So-
and beefy.
That? Is that?
Roll the
Plus
one.
8.
19 plus 8.
Yeah.
with
Went where you wanted it
precision.
to, I'm sure.
With precision. Now, Genesis.
Her eyes are certainly not closed right now.
Make a Constitution save, please.
Mm.
9. Now, here we go.
We do have that reroll.
We roll the variable. 27. Okay.
We
We have a reroll
Again,
on that concept.
we do have the
No, thanks.
reroll.
Do you want it?
No thanks.
No.
Living is good for you.
We don't know the outcome. Y'all, we don't know the outcomes of this save, though. That's the thing.
So before I carry on, are we good? We good to keep going? Okay.
Genesis not using.
I have the fear.
I also have the lucky feat, which I could use. Since there's
Yeah.
that.
But you could be rolling so high that you keep the disease in your body.
This
Like,
is
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know what
rolling less is better, you know? You don't know.
I don't.
9,
Yeah, that's all I'm
technically,
saying.
right in the middle, you're good.
That's all saying. We don't know the results of the outcome of the result yet.
So if we're good. Okay. So here's what happens. First off, the spell goes off. It's aimed perfectly. Obviously, it doesn't pass through the... you're still within the hut. It does not pass through the hut because spells don't pass through the hut. So, what's that?
Does it rebound?
It does not rebound, however, it does disperse void energy into the hut. So it hits the wall and just disperses, filling the area with ambient void energy in its own right. It does start to yank void energy out of Genesis. Not enough to heal it, but enough to delay it. However, at the same time, you guys take 14 damage.
Do we still get to make the deck save?
That was already half damage.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you guys took 2d10 instead of 4. And it's just from being trapped in there with a lot of ambient void energy suddenly.
Well, 2d10 is for the area of effect, right?
That's
So
what
it would
you
be
were.
1d10? The spell says 2d10 for the
Oh,
AoE.
yeah, you're right. You're right. So 7. Sorry. Very good. Good eye.
I don't want to die.
Good one. Good
Is it out of her body? Sorry. Bad timing.
It did not pull it. It did pull at it, but did not pull it. Unfortunately, since it filled the area with more void energy.
Yeah, feels bad.
It was still very creative.
Got it. Don't heat foil in the microwave.
Accurate.
Lessons learned through experience.
Very accurate.
Sorry.
All right. I'm going to make a suggestion.
Yeah.
You don't have to adhere to it, obviously. But you're going to want to drop the hut.
Yeah.
Just gonna get worse.
Yeah. She should have dropped the hut before, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. So go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I did, but I just yeah. Don't worry. Don't mind me.
No, it's good. That's a lot of void energy trapped in there with the three of you. Yeah, I don't want to start rolling more damage.
It's not a concentration, so she'll step out of it, and it'll go poof.
The void bolt battery. Void sauna. Wow, you guys are getting real creative with these. You guys are getting ripped on in chat there. Void sauna. I like that. No, that was very creative. I have to give you guys credit. That was very creative. I would not have thought of that myself, so kudos. The rolls were not necessarily entirely in your favor, but it was still very creative. So, that said, is anyone else other than listener doing anything right now?
After after this, I'd like to go look for a building that looks like it would fit as a herbalist or something, but that's after this whole
Debacle.
trying this creative exercise.
That's a good way of looking at it. Okay. In that case, listener, do you want to try again?
Sure.
Perception?
Bonk.
Oof. And insight?
Better.
Much better. So, you're scanning the spiritual spectrum there, and while you don't see an individual, in the back of your mind, in the very unique way that your temporal membrane picks up sound, you hear somebody calling out in just such a way that they appear to be trying to treat people in the field. Somewhere nearby you, there is an individual that is calling out orders that sound vaguely medical to your experience.
Aha. All right. Well, in that case, I will begin a quick search of this area specifically. I'll look around this hut that I'm in. I'll look around outside, look at this tiny one down here.
All right. Give me another...
Trying to find them.
That's right. Give me another perception roll, please.
Okay. Improvement.
It is
Almost
improved.
like-
Still not seeing anybody. However, I will say for the sake of that roll, you still hear them.
Okay.
You're in the right area. So yeah, you still hear them.
Well, there can only be so many spirits. There can be a lot of spirits around here, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, real quick, just so we're not neglecting him, Wilhelm, you're actively doing an investigation, so give me an investigation roll. Because you're looking at buildings.
Yes, I am looking for the signs, a mortar and pestle, other medical things. 10.
Nope. And a lot of it is because of the age and the damage and the fact that you can't read halfling. So that's fine. Anybody else before we get back to listener? I see Evelyn creeping.
She's just gonna like wander on past. He seems to be just kind of idling about, and she's like, she just thinks like, you know, they're in their own head, and she's like, I'm cool with that, and
That's
just
fine.
keeps going.
This is fine.
She doesn't actually know what's happening. She's just keeps wandering.
This is fine. This is fine.
This is fine.
Listener did not explain, so that's to be expected.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is Evelyn looking for anything or just meandering?
Just kind of meandering. I mean, like, she's kind of hoping she might be able to find another book,
Okay.
drag somebody to go and read it, but she's also just trying really hard not to step on bones at this point, too.
Unfortunately, the only person that has a shot at reading it is the one that's sick.
Yep. Yes.
So, in that case, listener, I'm going to give you another perception roll.
Come on, larger number, please.
Blam.
Largest
You
number.
just gotta ask nicely.
And with that, you definitely pick it up. There is a well-dressed halfling spirit leaning over several others. He appears to be offering some type of consolation. He does not notice you right off the bat. His focus is entirely on his charges.
Note, well-dressed halfling and not well-dressed half-orc. Though he wouldn't look like a half-orc in spirit form, most likely. Still.
The insurance salesman.
Had a change of heart and profession.
And persona, apparently.
I approach.
All right. So he's actually here. Let me see. He's actually right here.
I watch over his shoulder for a moment.
He makes no notice of you whatsoever, but this is not uncommon.
I reach out and I tap him on the shoulder.
All right. His head turns in a snarl at you.
Alright, I reach out with my mind, as is my wont. Let me get my little ability text here. If he seems mildly, like, snarly and focused in, I might have to try some basic conversation before I do the spectral invocation. He might not be a willing spirit just yet. So, I'll start with just a telepathic link.
All right. So you want to try and cool him off?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, if I can get him to respond to my, invitation, essentially, if he opens up the line,
Okay.
I will probably say, my good friend, these are likely beyond saving, but if you would assist me, there is one that can still be treated.
Interesting. You see a look of confusion come across his face, which is haggard. Now that you're up close, it's tired and strained. He stands up and kind of bellies up to your knees, kind of looking up at you in an entirely unafraid manner. Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay. Now, I might re-roll that, I don't know.
Your call.
Yeah. We'll let the conversation play out a moment longer. I have visual aids that I can enlist.
So his hollow echo of a voice comes into your mind now. A well-spoken, articulate manner of presentation. And in that he says, "My people are dying. This is it. This is the last. I am the final bastion. And you want me to go treat whatever you are and neglect my own people."
Not I. I am just fine. But my friend and listener, he's crouching down to look where the doctor was looking at the spirits he thought were his charges. I do not wish to deliver this message, but the last has long since moved on, and I would like to employ the sight to allow him to perceive through my eyes.
So with that, his eyes go aglow. Those of you who are nearby enough to see two tiny pinpricks of light open up near listener, right about what would be knee height. That would be
uncomfortable.
That would be Evelyn.
Hold on. Let's see. Let me see how observant she is.
Obviously, this communication is happening silently, so.
Weird stuff happens around listener, and it's not always very well explained.
Does she see it?
I'm going to give this one to you. Yeah, you'll see the pinpricks of light.
And she can still see listener, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Maybe not with a 9 perception.
this is true. Although that was to see the light. Although, what did you roll for? You haven't rolled stealth in a while.
No, I did earlier. It was a 12, I think.
Two glowing eyes. Ah!
I tell you what.
She's gonna run.
So I tell you what. We'll do this based on what you just happened. So you kind of see a faint outline of what might be listener. You're not sure. There's a lot of weird stuff happening here. It could be a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
The pinpricks of light open up nearby him,
Yeah.
which is already weirding you out.
Yeah.
And then as he does the sight and shows this poor creature what has happened to his people,
Yeah.
a baleful howl erupts into the gloom. Just this horrible, disembodied, echoing cry of pain. It is loud, and it just pierces your ears, and suddenly the temperature drops about 10 degrees. You can see your breath.
Saoirse's going to peek out the door.
Is anybody here?
It's a disturbing area.
Hello.
So,
Is there like a wisdom save or something where she can like be strong enough not to just, pee her pants and book it? Or I guess it's not really her pants, it's like pee her shadows.
Pee her shadows.
Yeah.
That's canon. We gotta write that down.
easier to clean, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
They're moisture wicking.
Moisture wicking.
And then my little write-up of the Volverstad, like, it's because of things like that why they use, like, the void clothing, because it's easier to clean.
Very, very much.
Yeah. That's exactly why they did it on purpose.
Just dissipate the clothes and all the impurities go away. Stay pure, people.
Stay pure.
Stay pure. So yeah, Evelyn, if you want to make a wisdom save, we'll say your experience, DC 12. Oh, no. You're spooked.
Yep, she's gonna run.
All right.
Really, really fast.
So
Run.
Everett tears off. So Saoirse, you'll see Evelyn come tearing around the corner. Slightly more pale than normal, which is something to be said.
She's
Yeah,
gonna
because
fall
aren't the
over the
Volverstad
bones.
white?
She's gonna trip over these bones. She's gonna get up, scramble away, wipe off the dead people fingers, and then keep running.
Wipe off the dead people fingers. I love it.
Damn it,
Okay.
I don't have any airworms left.
So, listener,
Yes.
you have shaken the spirit.
Yes.
When the DM's been playing Phasmophobia.
And the spirit hath shaken Evelette.
The spirit has shaken Evelyn.
Yes.
He crumples to his knees in front of you, face in his hands, weeping. He's just completely inconsolable at the moment.
Listener is very patient with this sort of thing. He's getting better. He's starting to understand the emotions that the dead try to process when this sort of news is broken to them.
Yes. Very difficult.
So I keep the line open for now. And just let him, dead though he may be, grieve a moment.
Which he will for a moment. Moments pass, unless anyone else is doing anything important. Anything?
I mean, Saoirse, like, she'll just start playing, like, a nice song for Evelyn to try and calm her. Can't use an airworm, but she's still going to, play anyways.
I'm still looking, but
Yes.
You do
we'll
still
just
have the
let this
ability.
win.
You still have the ability to do. What was it? The empathic performance, I think.
I think that uses an airworm.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I think. At least that was like. No, No, actually, the empathetic performance actually doesn't use an airworm. Interesting.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it did.
So yeah, I'll do that then. It's just that later things like the laughing strain do specify an airworm, so I always just assume like they all use,
Yeah.
airworms. But yeah, sure, I'll do empathetic performance and
Yeah.
push like a calming song onto her.
Yeah, so the empathetic performance is like when you literally like in real life hear a song and you just makes you cry because it just hits that right nerve. You know what I mean? That would be an empathetic performance, whereas like the laughing strain or the crying strain will literally force you to feel that way.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay. So, the music becomes. What instrument are you playing?
Her violin. She always like
Is it
defaults to
is
her
it
violin.
Maury's violin or her violin?
Yeah, let's say it's Maury's violin.
Okay. See, now this is getting interesting. Bear with me, listener.
Oh, sure. No rush.
So, Saoirse, as she runs by, and you immediately pull out Maury's ancient violin and begin to play. Tell me what happens. I'm going to allow you the freedom to be creative with the visual expression based upon what you're playing.
Let's see. Well, she is trying to play a very calming song, so I will say that little motes of light that look like fireflies almost are sort of just twinkling in the air along with soft, colorful swirls of light. Not unlike an aurora borealis, so I imagine like it's more swirly, and maybe the image of like some spectral flowers like swaying in the breeze, like just kind of show up at her feet.
Nice. And the song itself is soothing, calm.
Yes.
You can feel yourself starting to go to your happy place, Evelyn.
Yeah, because she was picking tiny bits of bone slivers out of her palms and out of her knees and just kind of like releasing some of the shadows to kind of like pick them out. And then she starts to hear her playing, and she's like, oh, it's pretty. Like, oh, that's really nice. And starts and looks up and she sees like this effect. And she's like, wow. And then she starts to just kind of calm down. Her heart rate goes, slows to, not heart attack levels, and kind of swaying a little bit, soft smile on her face, and forgetting those glowing eyes in replace of those tiny little glowing lights instead.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
sort of like a calming meadow at night.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, it works. The effect is accepted and effective. Very good. I'm glad
So we'll go back to listener now.
I'm glad we get to use Maury's violin.
Yeah. Well, we did the first time we met Evelyn, so.
This is true. All right, listener, he finally calms down. He looks up at you from his knees. His eyes, once again, just weary and tired and streaked with ghostly tears. He looks around at the carnage around him, suddenly realizing what's going on, and he looks at you in your mind.
Mhm.
And in common, which he has been speaking to you in, he asks you, so I'm dead then?
Yes. I speak to the dead. They are my domain.
And
I am sorry.
Daddy,
all is lost.
Daddy, what is he means?
Well, much is lost. Much is lost. It has been a very long time.
How long?
Well, my entire people have been born and grown since.
What about the inland settlements?
I have been. I have... Well... Were you religious?
Of course.
When my friends and I were traveling, we met... Well, I believe your goddess.
Sinufe.
Yes.
But why has she let this happen? What of Amberhearth? What of Vedishire?
It was not her fault.
Wait,
Some things are simply
what are you saying?
inevitable.
What are you saying?
Saoirse needs to be here.
Listener is working his way around to the point, because to him it was something of an experience, but now he's got to communicate it to somebody for whom it's got emotional impact.
Yeah.
Let me make a quick roll for myself, just to see what I want to say.
Of course.
Let's see. Ooh. So listener's not going to pick up on too much. You know, I had to get the one out of the way so it wasn't an actual roll, you know?
There is a brand new reroll.
There is, but I mean, that's just for me internally.
Fair enough.
So listener's just going to say at that point, the world has moved on. Many peoples have been lost.
Moved on.
Yes.
You still
It's
crouched?
very different now.
He
I was still crouched. Yeah, I was down there.
So he's going to stand up and kind of get as close to eye height with you as he can. And he's going to move in really close.
Mhm.
And he looks you dead and where your eyes would be. And says, "The world has moved on. What of my people?"
What remains of them is around you. I do what I can, but I'm not sure anyone else is.
Around me.
Listener will use the sight once more to show him the spirits that listener sees, I guess. Just for a moment, just enough to say, you know, these spirits are what remains.
So he'll howl in pain again as he's shown this sight. And when it passes, he's looking kind of at his feet, standing before you. His fists are clenched.
Mhm.
Quietly.
Stop.
Could we hear that howl?
Yes, everyone heard that howl. In fact, the temperature dropped even where you guys are.
Yes, it's rough.
Evelyn's freaking out again.
I think at this point, Saoirse will go outside and walk over to Listener just to make sure that everything's okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I
What's that, Wilhelm?
would like to come over as well.
Okay. So,
You see listener crouched.
well, give us perception rolls to make sure you see listener.
Oh, that's true. You might not see listener crouched. That's right. Beat a 12.
Beat a 12. Yep. You see him? Wilhelm? You are having trouble.
I am not rolling well for most things today.
And you're not seeing anything, Master Miss.
What?
Well, she's in the hut, so.
That's fair.
Definitely gonna stay in the hut.
Okay. So I imagine Wilhelm is following Saoirse, though, so at least he's in the right area.
Yeah. Also, there was a large yell. I can at least figure out where the yell was.
Yeah, it was a big howl.
Yes, you do know that wasn't listener, though, because he doesn't make noise. You cut off his legs with an axe and he didn't make a noise.
Yeah. And this was
Wait, what?
this was yeah. Yes, they did cut off his legs.
That did happen. It was very important.
Does he have legs now?
Yes. He got better.
Yes.
But then I put the legs back on, and he grew an inch. Don't know how. He just did.
Huh.
He's a plant person.
Mhm. I'm the only person who can really pull that trick safely. I wouldn't recommend it for anyone else.
I feel like
And
there's
even
like
if
a
he
lizard
didn't
man
save
out
his
there who might be
original
able to
legs, he
grow
would
his
have
tail.
just grown new ones.
Eventually. So, Saoirse, you see him crouched, and you see these hovering little pinpoints of light near him. These two little pinpoints of light looking downward at the ground in front of him. The temperature has dropped significantly as you've gotten closer. You can both see your breath. It's a chill.
Yeah, Saoirse is going to sort of grab her cloak and like just sort of hold it around her and be like, "What's going on, listener?"
I am speaking to a spirit.
She nods her head solemnly because she remembers dealing with Nether.
Yeah. So this wouldn't be entirely out of place. The reaction you're seeing is new.
Yes, but the last one was like a dragon, you know?
Oh yeah, that was a big deal.
It was also kind of showy. Maybe he's just getting more theatrical now.
Also, he had the backing of. He was still attached to the
To the
collective.
collective.
At the time, yeah.
This might be just all him, or all it.
Yeah, Evelyn never got to see you in your glory days.
Yes. Listener in full form, actually connected up to most of his species, was, he had some roles in him back then.
Yeah.
We
So
won't be seeing any of this one nonsense.
the pinpoints of light move up and seem to focus in on listener, illuminating your face to some degree. And the three of you can hear this. It's a physical emanation, an auditory emanation.
Huh?
The three of you, the listener, Saoirse and Wilhelm, can all hear this.
What?
Exactly.
Exactly. So the voice speaks out and he says, "My people are gone. Sinufe abandoned us. She let my people die at the hands of the Gulda Shah elves."
Ah, so this is what listener actually has a response for. So first I'm going to put this here. Just for the keeping in mind, you know, I'm going to hold you to that. Spirits do like me. But listener will respond, "No, actually, I believe Sinufe might have been the only one who stayed."
Sinufe was off taking care of Shaw.
You can't hear any of that.
Well, I mean, Saoirse's responding to the.
Ah, the
Hear the
ghost,
voice.
yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, Saoirse's just going to say out loud, just independently, like, that
Sinufe was off taking care of Shaw.
Shah, who abandoned us to this genocide, let her people massacre mine. I watched children torn apart by the hands of people who once fed them sweets. This is not what I...
Shaw was sick. Sinufe thought that if she went off and took care of Shaw, that she could come back and handle her people, but everything that had got on in the world was just too much.
It doesn't matter.
It was too much too soon.
All that's left is dust.
No. And this is where listener is really coming into his own. You remain. The spirits remain. They're locked in these little moments, but it only takes one little shake to bring them out, to make them, well, not alive, but someone, something. That is why I am here. That is what I wish to do. There
Not
is
all-
still something that should be done for your people. If they cannot have freedom, they should at least have rest.
What were you saying, Saoirse, too? Go ahead.
Saoirse, like, was going to reply, not all is lost. We're out here trying to help. Sinufe is a part of the somnambulist prophecy with some of the other gods. She sent us a directive to go down to the domes of the Shining Eyes so the gods could return to Cairne and we can fix all of this mess. And at this point, she is going to pull out Sinufe's letter and, like, kind of hold it to where the 2 points of light can see it. She's sort of guessing that this is where the voice is coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the pinpoints will hone in on it. And you'll see them actually scan across the text that they easily read.
Oh, yeah.
The eyes turn back to illuminate listener. And... Huh. And you hear him audibly sigh. And then he says, "You have brought me from ignorance. You have ripped a scathing wound across my heart. And you have pulled every dream I've ever had from the sky and thrown it at my feet to be ground into dust. But I now know the truth. And even though apparently I may never rest, I can at least make good on my vow, my promise. What is it you ask of me?"
One of our own has taken ill, and our good doctor here, the benevolent, is not quite able to make the medicine to cure her. We could use your help, but whether you do or not, your people will rest. If we cannot demand it of the gods, I will do it myself.
Ooh. It's a big vow.
Listener is prone to those.
Okay. So be it then.
All right. Bam, spectral invocation.
You invoke the spirit into your body. And you gain the knowledge of the specter.
Aha.
Now, he's nowhere near the skill level that Wilhelm is. However, he does recognize, because you guys are sharing information, he knows what's in your head too.
Yes, he does.
You can hear him in your mind processing it as he goes. And he gets hung up on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tears. Do you still have
Yes.
the tears?
Yes, we do carry them.
Why aren't you using them?
Well, it was my hope to cure the madness of the elves. But you are right. They are useful. I shall confer with our benevolent. Over to Wilhelm. Wilhelm,
Yes.
I have conferred with the spirit of a local halfling herbalist, and in his medical opinion, we should use the tears.
If that is the only way to say, if Genesis,
I will confer with the spirit once more then.
can you,
Go on.
may I also join your conversation?
I can link him in, I think. Since it's basically just me, I just let the spirit speak through me. So yes, you consider yourself joined to the group chat.
Okay.
Thank you, first off, for helping out. I do not understand what you're going through, but the pain must be immense, and I thank you for helping.
What's done is done. The only thing I can offer other than my advice to use the tears is mold scrapings, and I don't think it's going to be what you need.
I am sure he told you what I was looking for, was hoping to find.
What you seek is beyond my skill, and if as much time has passed as you say, anything I had is long since rotted, turned to dust. I don't know this world anymore. I don't know what it's become, and based on everything I'm seeing in this creature's mind, it may as well be another reality, another dimension. Use the tears.
How many of you were here?
In the settlement?
Yes, in the settlement.
You make me look that up. Hang on. Make me look that up.
Can you tell me their names so that I may remember them?
All of the people
is-
here?
I want to carry the memory of their name. You don't have to actually give me all the names, George.
Produce all 200 names.
I was going to say, there were 329 people here. Here are their names.
All right.
Everybody buckle
Bring
up.
Stream instantly goes to 10 hours. Revenue triples. Twitch million.
So yes, he does tell you about Shadegrass, and he does tell you that there were over 300 people, 300 souls there. For ease and to save time, I will say that he will direct you to his building, which is this one. If you can see me pinging.
Yep.
There will be a small cubby hole against the wall. Behind the bed. And inside is a leather-bound ledger with vellum that is actually held up surprisingly well. It's nothing insane. It's just a record as the attending physician of the village. But it does have the names of all the people that were there.
Thank you. This, I will remember them. Your people, the memories will live on.
All right. May I suggest that we take our union break at this time?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Come
All
on.
right. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back after this word from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Boom.
So.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So when we left off, you guys were digging in a tiny little alcove behind the bed in the apothecary's
Yes,
hovel.
We had a vellum ledger containing the births and deaths record of the town from its more normal times.
It's so sad.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have another doctor's recommendation, a second opinion, if you will, to use the tears.
So what's it gonna be, Wilhelm?
I think we need to talk to everyone.
So I will say this, based upon your medical knowledge, what you know of this disease, and based upon your skill and what's available to you, if you do not give her antibiotics very soon, she will die. Like, it's inevitable. She will die. There's no way around it. So you either find antibiotics, which is still a possibility, or the tears, unless there's a third option that I'm not aware of, which is always a possibility. But just to throw that into your head.
Does anybody have any bread mold?
Maybe an old rotten orange.
Oh, I believe we should all go back, and then together we should let everyone know.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it looks like the tears are the only hope.
All right. So head on back. You guys make your way through the murk and gloom, stepping over remains, skeletons, trying not to trip over broken carts and the remnants of a former vibrant community that was once here. There is always the possibility of mold scrapings, as Ginkgo says. I think Ginkgo just wants you guys to eat mushrooms.
It solves a lot of problems.
That's actually what the anticoagulant is made from.
Mushrooms, yep, see?
Mm-hmm.
There you go,
So
Ginkgo.
they are helping.
There you go.
Isn't like penicillin made from bread mold or something? Or like yeast?
Orange.
I can't remember what it was.
I think it was an orange, if I remember correctly.
Is it?
I think so. The bread mold, if I remember, well, the mold that grows on wheat will make you hallucinate and think you're a werewolf.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Use the tears. That's my official vote.
All right.
It's what they're for.
So we either
So, for sake of player sanity, Kaz and Uki will abstain.
Reasonable.
Because I don't know what way they'd vote.
do we want to wait for them?
I don't even know if they know about the tears. They came in after the fact.
Well, there weren't any antibiotics to be found here.
You may want to explain to Evelette what the tears are, because I don't think she knows.
Okay. After speaking to the physician here, it looks like the only option is the tears.
Do you guys need me to cry on her, or?
While we were investigating earlier, we found the tears of Sunnyfae. They should be able to heal.
My character knows who Sunnyfae is.
Oh yeah.
And I will pull them out. Thank you.
Does it look like a little vial of water?
Little vial of clear liquid.
Okay. I think you're all
I-
nuts, and I say go for it.
Saoirse is going to vote use of tears.
She is unconvinced, but please do.
Okay. I don't know how much I need to use. If I need to use it all, or if it's got. But we will see.
We've got the other doc we could consult.
He's not
I-
going to know how to use the Tears of Sinufe.
I also have water on me, so.
So,
What do you mean he's not going to know how to use the Tears of Sinufe? He's the one who recommended it.
I will say this.
From looking at my memories.
Genesis, your headache is getting worse.
You're also muted.
I am muted?
No, Master Miss.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, your headache is getting worse, and you are starting to get a little dizzy. And if you would, starting now, when you try to speak, you're going to have trouble speaking coherently. Like, you're going to start stumbling over words. I'll leave you to roleplay that, though.
I will administer the tears.
Okay, we're going straight for it. Tell me how.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to drop a little bit, like do it one drop at a time, into the open wound.
Okay.
I will pull it out. Unfortunately, I'm gonna undo what I did, and I am gonna try to pour directly onto that.
Okay.
See what happens.
So I get that you're trying to save this, but I will say it will take the entire vial.
Okay. I will use the whole vial.
You okay?
Do I have any idea if it needs to be drank?
No.
If it is something I put on the injury, or if it's something else?
This is pretty unique. Pretty unique. So you know you're not sure.
It's a party time. Party?
Not every day you run across something like this.
There you go.
I'm gonna
I have choices.
split it up. Gonna put some of it on the wound, and then have Genesis, and then hand it to Genesis and tell, go ahead and drink this. Let's combine them. I don't actually know what I'm doing.
That's comforting.
It'll all get in there somehow.
Genesis?
Oh, no.
What are you going to do with this vial?
Gummy bear.
I see you typing.
Bear. Is a gummy bear.
Alright.
Probably only a sip in there.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. It's a refreshing taste, actually. A slight tinge of salt to it, but it goes down smoothly enough. As you drain the vial, after what's been dripped onto you, the wound from the bite immediately begins to seal. Like, you can actually look down and see the bands of flesh begin to knit back together until it leaves nothing, not so much as a mark or a scar or anything. Your breathing begins to come back normal. You stand up a little straighter. The cavity you've been nursing for the last 3 years magically just heals itself. You are a picture of health. In fact, I would like you to add 1 to your constitution.
Ooh, that's fancy. For a brief shining moment, you are the healthiest person in Cairne.
There will be stories told about how healthy you are right now.
Yes. Yes, +1
I am
constitution.
retiring as benevolist because there's nothing better I can do than this.
That is as healed as anyone is going to get.
You
Wait.
just drank the tears of a goddess. Yes, it is a permanent +1 con.
Con score or con mod?
Con score.
Let's go. Let's go.
Had to check.
Yeah, no, it's good. But yes, you have been cured. And with that, the spirit asks if it's okay to leave.
Of course. Of course, here. And listener will allow him to return whereabouts he was.
Right. You'll see him exit your body, kind of look around the room at each of you. His eyes will linger on Genesis for a long moment, and then he'll nod to you, listener, and turn around and walk through the door.
Mhm.
Nobody can see him do this, right?
No, just listener can see that.
Just
Unless you have an ability that allows you to see spirits.
No. Mm-mm.
I never know, I have to ask. Alright. So, as this happens, the temperature regulates and goes back to normal. It's still very dark. There's still a nasty miasma hanging over the place of gloom and darkness. And you still get the feeling that something's watching you constantly. But for a moment you feel peaceful. Especially you, Genesis. You feel great.
yeah, you pick up another con. Finally get some hit points on you.
Yeah. No kidding. One more point, you get a bonus. So,
I'm gonna hold on to.
hold on to what?
I'm gonna hold on to the vial, even though it's empty. I'm gonna hold on to it.
Alright. Provided Genesis gives it up. Genesis, are you giving up the vial? Are you going to greedily hold on to it?
May I have the vial?
Evelyn's gonna go lay down, gather up some, like, I don't know, messed up people clothes, put a new pillow.
Thank you.
Okay. So Genesis hands it over with a grateful nod. Alright, Evelyn goes to lie down with some people clothes. Probably wondering how these filthy buggers wear this nasty stuff. It smells terrible.
Yeah. Doesn't, it smells kind of musty, but it's a pillow.
Listener has also always been confused about the whole clothes thing.
You have that in common.
It
Although,
doesn't have much to do with it.
Evelyn, you could just make yourself a shadow pillow if you really want to.
Oh yeah. No, definitely that. Yeah. That smells better. And she's gonna kind of like have her feet towards the door at least, and it's gotten a little warmer, so it's a little cozier. And she's gonna try to get her 8 hours because she is 100% completely exhausted.
Alright. You guys could probably all use a long rest, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't be unreasonable.
Yeah.
Alright. So just to remind you once again, the specialized rules on long rest as far as recovery of hit points, don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said,
What are the specialized rules?
uh,
That's not
You
happening.
get one.
One.
You get 1 hit point.
Yay! What?
You get 1 hit point back.
Whew! I'm glad I was picky about HP. Alright.
Yeah, I would normally get more, but we don't exactly have sunlight here.
Yeah. And Wilhelm can add to that as well.
Yeah.
He's just got to poke and prod you with whatever he's got on him. And I just realized what that sounded like. I'm sorry.
Yep, that didn't feel good.
I am talking about medical implements, nothing weird, which isn't helping. But you get the idea.
Nope, it's getting worse. It just keeps getting
On
worse.
the other hand, I am trained in acupuncture. No, wait, I didn't get that.
At this,
Yeah, you want to stick her with needles?
Yeah, at this point, nothing's going to help. We're just
Nope.
going to say he has the ability to add to that number of hit points that you can gain. We're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Heathens.
I'm actually going to use a tincture and pull out the misting hand mortar.
Okay.
So that heals 2 hit points per round.
I love how you're launching a hand mortar in here.
It's a misting hand mortar, and everyone within a 15-foot radius, so everyone within it is going to heal.
It was still a hand mortar, so you're literally going chung chung, boom, like nailing the ceiling.
I'm setting it off right here. Everybody gets healed.
So be sure to add that to it, definitely.
How much healing?
It's 2 per round. And did we say 4 rounds? Or
I think it was. I'd have to look it up, but I think it was 4 rounds.
okay, so 8 hit points to everybody.
Yay! Thank you. Still sleeping.
So, is there a watch?
Listener will be on his perpetual watch.
Okay.
And I think we'll probably go some rotation that involves Kaz and Uki, as it usually does, and Wilhelm in one of the spots.
All right. Who's on final watch? Let's just say that.
Take first.
First. Who's on final?
Me and Kaz.
All
It's
right.
usually me and Kaz.
That works.
I think Saoirse probably needs to sleep the entire time just because we did spend a good chunk of this day traveling and she still was playing like coming clean that entire time. So she probably still needs to get the full 8 hours of sleep.
Definitely. So, you and Kaz, right towards the end of your rest, I need you to roll a perception check, please. I'll roll one for Kaz.
Yes, and I believe he has some form of advantage.
He does. Always. Constantly.
He's got the very sizable perception.
Yes. Where is... Oh, there he goes.
We're looking out pretty well.
Very well. So, right towards the end of your final shift, you see this strange little pair of beady eyes peering in from the open doorway.
Mm-hmm.
More than one, actually. About 4 pairs of eyes, kind of just peeking over the ledge or around the door jamb.
Interesting. Let me see how invisible I am. Not.
Not.
I'm quite visible right now.
So, what you're seeing is 2 little visible eyes, a very small mouth. These smaller sized creatures are peering in at you. They have a roughly mushroom shaped head. But they're kind of scrawny, scraggly even. They don't look like mushrooms. If they were mushrooms, they were dried out, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Aging ginkgo.
Yeah, you can see little bits of bone and even the occasional scrap of metal or stone kind of interlaced into their bodies itself, like actually pinned through the flesh. They're just staring at you. That's all you can really see is their heads at this point.
We'll probably be in communication with Kaz at this stage.
Yeah, he sees it too.
Yeah. Remind me, the building that we've set ourselves up in, does it have windows?
It does not. No.
Okay.
It may have at one time, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, a lot of things have collapsed.
Hmm.
We're fortunate it has most of a roof.
Yes, it does. There is that at least.
Mushrooms, you say? Well, in that case, Listener and Kaz, I suppose, will just get up and walk towards them. Kaz in a more intimidating fashion than Listener can probably manage.
Walk towards them. Okay.
And Listener has a readied action.
What is your ready to action?
Well, I didn't.
Oh, I see. So as you stand up, all of them just kind of poof out a spore cloud and start moving away rapidly.
And that's why we ready our actions, everybody.
So are you hitting that instantly?
Yes, I am. Because that was what Listener was expecting. He said, if they're harmless, they're harmless. If they're harmful, they are going to attack us with some form of spore cloud.
You did get the sense that this was defensive.
Yeah.
Because they hit it and ran.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of your aura, nothing got into the room.
We do try.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they scampered off.
We never moved the animals onto the map.
Oh yeah, they are still with you, aren't they?
Yes.
The
I
phoenix and the ant.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll have to have quartered them with us. It just felt like specifying that while we were here.
That's alright, I can get them real quick over here.
Yeah. And since I have cast antifungal aura, I'll take the moment to step back into the building so everybody benefits from it.
Ooh, I gotta shrink
I don't
those.
know if they're injured, but the Phoenix and the Ant also got healed.
It's very good, Mortar.
That's a lot, everyone.
I have to become a nightly routine as long as I can get enough tinctures.
Hmm. Alright. There, they're on the map. Oh, I should probably make them actually interact well. Carrier ant. I think they already are.
Yep, they're movable.
There you go.
He's a little big,
He's supposed to be kind of big.
but is he 4 squares? Is he that big? Wow.
He is a giant
Size
ant.
large.
Yeah. The Phoenix would probably actually be a little bigger, but we'll let that one go.
Fair enough.
I mean, they're rideable.
Fair enough. So everyone benefits from antifungal aura.
Okay.
Lovely aura for everybody.
So whatever those things were took off for now.
Yes, Listener will actually walk outside a little bit and look around.
You don't see any movement beyond the spectral energy that you're expecting to see.
Yeah. How very strange. Sit back down with Kaz and say, Wonder what those were. Strange creatures around these parts.
Very strange. So, what do you do from here?
Let the morning come, hopefully.
All right. So it doesn't take long. This is towards the end of your final shift. Morning comes. The creatures don't return. So you get the feeling they were just...
Curious.
Excuse me, goodness.
Bless.
That one snuck up on me. You get the feeling they were just sussing you out.
And the answer is, we're a little scary.
Just a little. I mean, it's fine. So everybody's waking up, fully refreshed. Especially Genesis, who is incredibly refreshed. Thank you for the bless.
What a beautiful morning with your new 11 con.
Still trapped in a dark miasma.
Yes.
So, from here, where are you wanting to go? You want to stay here? Or do you want to travel?
These are the questions. It requires a party-wide discussion.
Fair enough.
Because we've come here, it seems quite evident that we're not going to be getting off of this island in any great hurry. At least not by the way we got here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could always swim.
I don't like my odds. I remember that fish. Remember that fish? The fish smacked the collective out of me.
It did, huh? Well, not to mention swimming's probably generally not a good idea.
No, I'm not even sure I could.
No.
A plant, you know? I would float at least.
Yeah, that water would absorb right into you.
Yeah, that'd be bad stuff. But, so, aside from that, all we can really do is forge on. There's a dome someplace around here.
Would you like the overland map again?
Yes, that'd be lovely.
Alright. I believe... There it is.
Yes.
Dimmadome.
Dimmadome.
So yeah, there's the overland map.
Yes, what were the two domes? It was the Dome of the Shining Eyes and...
The other dome.
Yes, what was the other dome called?
It is... Boom, boom, boom. Gullinuk.
Okay. That one can be the Dimmadome then.
Yep, Gullinuk is the name of that settlement. There's two other settlements. There's Selunai and Gullinuk. And I believe Evelette told you about them, though.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say I probably shouldn't give you the names if she didn't.
And there is, of course, Spooky Volcano.
Spooky Volcano is always an option. You could always go to Spooky Volcano.
I'm really uncertain. What's the party's thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what we can do if you'd like, since we are down a couple people, and it is, it's pretty close. We can wrap here and let that decision be made with a full group.
I approve of this.
It's up to you guys.
I'm in favor because we still have to do a little bit of packing for our trip tomorrow anyway, so.
Yeah. That's not a problem. Not a problem at all. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that then. We'll wrap here for the night. I know it wasn't insanely exciting, but definitely some story moving. A little more history.
Yes. More insights for listener. Gonna sort out this whole dead people problem, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure those mushrooms will show up again. But that being said, ladies and Gentiles, monkeys and reptiles, boys and girls of all ages who better at least be 18 years old because this is an adult stream, thank you for coming out. We will be back next week for Knights of the Round Table concerning Sigil. That's a real laid-back, fun, goofy, laughy, have a good time type stream. The more interaction we have from the audience, the better it'll be. So it'd be a really good time to come out and tell us what you think.
Ask questions. Share
jokes. Throw insults at Chance. Whatever you like. That's fine. Yeah, definitely don't miss it. It'll be very entertaining. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks for another round of this game as well.
Indeed.
I believe this week coming we're back to the tower, but you guys don't get to see that because you're not special.
Unfortunately, we will still be on the road.
Oh, that's right. Well, if you join our
Apologies to all.
Discord, you can ask questions about it, and we might tell you. And you could be in the know and tell your friends.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you know stuff your friends don't, that makes you cooler.
It do.
Chicks dig it. That's what I hear. I hear that in places. But yeah, thank you for coming out. It's been a great time. We love you guys. We'll see you real soon.
Until we meet again.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.